Rachel, here with Ari, and we're your hosts for the Merry Writer podcast. This week, we're on episode 230, and we're asking, how can the Gantt chart help your writing process? Before we dive into the topic, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening if you haven't already. And if you enjoy the show, please feel free to share it with friends and write a review. So what is the Gantt chart? And I apologize in advance, I sometimes call it the Nat chart. So if you hear me say Nat chart, I mean the Gantt chart. I'm not even going to correct myself. That's your only warning. But anyway, it's a project management chart with horizontal lines showcasing the amount of work and time that goes into different sections of a project. Now, why should you use the Gantt chart? The idea is to visually see the overall timeline of a project, how long each section will take, track deadlines, so on and so forth. And it's also used a lot in collaboration with team members. But because we are but lonely writers, we're only going to be talking about using the Gantt chart ourselves.
I'm just going to jump in to say I have never used the Gantt chart in a writing project. And the last time I used the Gantt chart was about 18 years ago in one of my old jobs. And I have barely any memory of using it. So my contribution to this podcast will be very limited. It'll probably just be popping up going, I agree, or, ooh, I didn't know that. That's it.
To be fair, I only learned what the Gantt chart was like a few months ago. I say a few months ago. What is this, August? At the beginning of 2024, I think. So I guess it was a little longer than a few months ago, but I only just realized what it was. Yeah, so I recently figured out what it was, and I thought, hey, how could I use this for myself? Because I'm always trying out different to-do lists and project management tools, and there's some that work really well for me for a while, and then I get bored with it, and then I need something else, and I'm terrible at keeping up with my self-made deadlines. And to go along with Ari, I obviously have never used the Gantt chart before, let alone using it to streamline my writing process. But that's how I started using it. And I used the Nat chart to visually show the novels currently being worked on, so I don't end up working on 12 different projects at once. I set it up so that if a couple of projects overlap with each other, it's no more than 2 projects. I also use it as a timeline of each novel from the outlining process to publication to help me stay on task and hit those self-made deadlines, which I often just let fly out the window. So I haven't actually used this from start to finish yet, but so far it's been helping me, so that's why I wanted to talk about it. And I also want to say you can use the Nat chart for anything else. It doesn't have to be for like writing. You can use it to streamline marketing for multiple books, your author business, or even just like website management, content and social media, and etc.
I have to admit, when I saw the title of this episode, I did go and I Googled Gantt chart so I could see it. And I have to admit, it's been so many years since I used it, and I have no memory at all, just in general. And when you started talking about how you would use it for the whole process, I have to admit, I'm now looking at it going, ooh, something new and shiny to try. So I may have to give it a go myself, because I like the visual of seeing this track play out. I do like that. And I also love new shiny things that I can jump on when I should be doing my writing. So yeah, great one, Rach. Thanks.
And color coding. That's the other thing. And I guess I should explain what it looks like. It's basically just like a bar graph in a way, but it's more horizontal, and like the top line, I mean, you can customize it however you want, but the way I have it for my novels is that the top horizontal bar are the dates, and they break it up by weeks. So I have like quarter, for right now, I have quarter 3, and then underneath that, it's broken into 3 sections: July, August, September. And then underneath each month, it has each Monday. So for August, for example, it says 5/12/1926. So the week of August 5th, the week of August 12th, and so on. You catch my drift. And then on the left side, the vertical side, that's where I have my novel projects, the titles. And then in the middle, I have the horizontal lines and they're color coded. So if I'm working on an outline for a novel, that's purple. If I'm writing the first draft, that's blue. If I'm doing budgeting or I'm looking for cover designers or anything like that, that's in green. Publishing prep is in yellow and marketing is in red. So I have it all streamlined and I try to figure out how long each part should take me. Again, this is the first time I'm using it, so I don't know if my, timing is going to be accurate, especially with life constantly throwing lemons at me. But I ended up giving myself like 2 weeks to outline a novel. And I know that sometimes I'll get it done in 1 week. Other times it might stretch out into 3 weeks or maybe even 4 weeks. Who's to say? But visually seeing it all together and seeing the different colors, it makes me happy. It makes me feel good. And it kind of motivates me to actually get stuff done with it and actually work towards my novels. And like I said, if more than one project overlap, I try to make it so that only 2 projects overlap during the same week, because I don't want to end up trying to shove in like writing draft 1 of one novel while editing draft 5 of another novel and outlining a third novel all in 1 week, because that's just ridiculous. But that's how I typically do things, and I'm trying to change that.
I just have to make one point. Marketing should be blue and outlining should be yellow. I don't know what nonsense you're talking about, making marketing red. That's just the wrong color, and it's hurting my soul that you even think that. Let's just get that out there.
I put marketing as red because usually sales are red. Like when you see something's on sale or something's on discount, it's usually like red or yellow.
Oh, you mean the sales? Yes, because
Yes,
red,
yeah.
people are drawn to the color red.
Yeah, so that's why I
But
have marketing in red.
you see, to me, red is if you're in the red of business, then you are not making money. So red has always been we don't want to be in the red for me. So no, marketing is blue. It's for everybody. It's everybody's friend. That's
That's a good point. I've always streamlined the actual creative process, like writing and editing and stuff, as blue, because that's part of my brand. And when I think of my brand, I'm like, oh, I'm a writer. So that's why that's blue.
Wait,
But I do see what you mean. What?
I thought your brand was green. Or has it? It's changed, hasn't it?
It
The green
used
was
to
the
be
old one.
green. It was this horrible green and tan because I was trying to think of some unique brand that wasn't like coffee. And I was like, I like turtles. So let's make it a beach theme. That was, yeah, green and tan was my brand for like a solid few years. And
But it worked because it's in there in my head, and I'm thinking green and tan. That's Rachel. So I apologize. The blue hasn't obviously got back in yet.
Yeah, no, it's back to blue and like browns and stuff, because hey, my brand's coffee now. Surprise,
It's blue
surprise.
coffee.
Well, no, I like blue. It's blue because blue is my favorite color. And then I actually found a really nice color palette that mixed like coffee colors together with like a nice shade of blue. And I actually really liked it, so that's what I went with.
Nice. Sorry for this
Yeah.
tangent, people, but yeah.
No,
Back to the show.
I mean, it wouldn't be the Merry Writer if we didn't get off topic. But anyway, so yeah, that's how I use the Gantt chart to, streamline my writing process. Hopefully it works. We'll see. I don't know. That's why we're talking about it. I really don't know if it's going to work. Maybe it'll work for you. Who's to say? But you're probably wondering how exactly you're supposed to use the Gantt chart. It's actually a software. And I did not realize this when I first found it, because I think I just Googled like project management tools or something, and I saw the Gantt chart, but screenshots appeared first. So I didn't actually look at the website at first, but it actually is a software. And at the time that this episode releases, you can try well, no, at the time that we're recording this episode is what I mean to say. You can try it using a 30-day free trial. I don't know if that's ever going to change. And if it does change, I don't know if it'll change by the time this episode releases. But as of right now, there is a free trial. Otherwise, it's a yearly subscription. And full transparency, I have never used the Gantt chart software, so I really can't say how good or bad it might be. I have too many subscriptions and downloads on my computer. So I went ahead into Google Sheets and I created a Gantt chart myself. And that seems to work for me because I have like 110% full customization of it, and I can do whatever I want with it and have all the pretty colors. And I know that the Gantt software has more to it than just the chart. But if you're looking for something more basic and you could just easily make one yourself in Excel or Google Sheets or probably Canva or anything. So that's what I did.
I have to say that the one time I did a Gantt chart decades ago almost, it wasn't even on Excel. It was like pad and paper, and you drew it out on grid paper. So yeah, it's you could even do that if you want to kill even more time.
That's a good idea, and I actually thought about doing that. I actually got a big poster board, and I was going to use Post-it notes and the like, but I was so afraid of messing it up because I had never done it before that I wanted it to be on the computer so I could change it easily. But maybe someday when I have my office more set up again, maybe I will like just buy a big poster board and just have it up on the wall. So that way it'll be in my face all the time. So hopefully I really won't forget my deadlines. But who knows, because it's me.
I have to say, what we could do is before this episode goes live, we could make some, like I'll make a rough Gantt chart, and then we can try and remember to put them up on the YouTube video so that people can see what they look like. You know, it doesn't have to be the exact Gantt chart if you don't want to share your deadlines with people. We could just make some rough ones so that way people could know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I can definitely do that. If I remember, I'll add a note somewhere that I probably won't look at ever again, but I will do my best to remember that. And you know what? Hey, if you join us on Coffee, maybe we'll even like create a free template for you guys that you guys can use. Created a PDF, or maybe we can share a Google Sheet template. I've seen people do that before. I don't really know how to do it, but maybe we'll figure it out. We'll try to figure it out. I don't know. Join us on Coffee. Just do it anyway.
That was a great little plug there. So I'm just going to add to that. It's like there is several things you can get for free in our little shop. And then if you donate to us, you get more things. And then if you are joined as a member, you get even more things. But even if you don't join and don't want to throw money at us at all, you don't have to. Just go to the Coffee page and go and get some free stuff that's in our shop.
Yeah, we have plenty of free stuff. And also you can still follow the page for free. So you'll get notified whenever we post new episodes and all things like that. I mean, you should already be following us on Podbean or YouTube or wherever you're watching. So you should already get these updates, but just saying, you can go over to Coffee. And I cannot believe how many times this conversation has been derailed by coffee. Different types of coffee, but coffee. So I'm gonna like bring this conversation back and just leave you guys with the fact that like using the Gantt chart is going to be different for everybody. Because the way I set up mine for my novels obviously isn't going to be the same way that you would set it up for yourself. Even if we do share a template through Coffee or like show you on the YouTube video, you may look at it and be like, wow, this looks ridiculous. I would do things this way. And that's totally fine because it's also a bit of trial and error. Like I said earlier, I gave myself 2 weeks to outline novels, but sometimes depending on the project, it might take me a week, might take me 3 weeks. I don't really know. So you'll want to give yourself some wiggle room with the deadlines in case you ever go over or under. And also, especially if it's the first time that you're using it, like it's kind of hard to gauge how long each like step is going to take because, you got outlining, if you outline, writing the first draft, editing the first draft, writing the second draft, revising. You got all these different things and it's ridiculous. And then when you throw in book cover design and editors and beta readers, well, now you got to wait for their schedule and incorporate that schedule into it as well. So it is kind of hard to come up with on the first go. So yeah, like I said, give yourself some wiggle room so that you can play around with the deadlines and make sure that you can still hit your ultimate deadline.
No, that's it. I mean, you can always start small and just use it for the writing aspect. This is when you want to get chapter 1 done. This one when you want to get chapter 2 done. This is when you want to get chapter 3 done. Blah blah blah. It doesn't have to be the bigger one. Although I've got to say, as you were saying about doing it from outline to publication, I'm really like the idea of doing that and like messing and having another chart to follow. Yay!
I actually like your idea about doing it on a smaller scale though, because if your ultimate goal is to just get that first draft written, then yeah, absolutely. Give yourself 1 week to write chapter 1, 1 week to write chapter 2, and just, go from there. Or scenes, however you write, because Ari writes by scene. Do what you got to do.
It's the fact you
But
said 1 week. Are you kidding? 1 week?
well, I have it set up weekly. You can give yourself more than 1 week. It's an example, Ari. Depending on how long your chapters are, you might be able to get it done in a week. I don't know. Everybody's different. You gotta, like I said, trial and error, figure it out and, play around with it and see what works best for you. But I do like having it for the overall publication process, because if I see you can add emojis to Google Sheets. So I have a little book emoji where I want, to like publish certain novels. So seeing all the different colors and the lines throughout the year and like into the next year and stuff, and then seeing that little book emoji, I'm like, yes, this is real. This is happening. I'm actually going to do it. Please don't hold that to me. Okay. So with that said, with all of that, keep that in mind. Use the Gantt chart to rebrand yourself too, and probably don't use green and tan, even though apparently it sticks out to some. But we're going to turn it over to you guys and ask, have you ever tried the Gantt chart or some other project management tool to streamline your novel process? And if so, how did it go? How did you like it? Like, did it work for you or not? Let us know your answers in the comments so we can chat about it. And remember, we release a new episode every Wednesday. Next week, we're discussing writing regrets. So to ensure you don't miss that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on your way out. As always, thanks for listening to the Merry Writer Podcast. We'll see you guys next week. This podcast is brought to you by Sticky Notes. Our walls are covered. The music titled Inspired is by Kevin MacLeod, licensed under Creative Commons 4.0.